I've noticed lately treating concussions that one of the biggest frustrations people with concussions have is they they get misinformation or mixed information, I should say, from healthcare providers. So often, if they get a concussion at first, they rest, and then if it doesn't get better, they go to a doctor. And the doctor maybe does a couple tests and says, "Yep, you got a concussion. Go home and rest." And so they rest some more, and maybe if their symptoms don't get better, they start asking around because they don't know where to go next, especially if they're not in a big center where there's a concussion center for them to go to. And so often they're left just searching the internet and trying to figure out what to do. And this is often, especially when they have symptoms that keep going on and lasting, and they're out of the 3 week window where you should be recovered. And maybe they're coach of their team has a couple ideas on what might be good for them, but they try and go back to practice and still feeling not great. Or maybe they're trying to go back to work, but every time they go on a computer, it's they can't work. And so they go to the doctor. The doctor just writes them a note and says, "I don't know what to do. I mean, rest more." And so often by the time they get to me for treatment, they're not only, of course, not progressing, but they are really frustrated because they have lost all this time. Usually it can be up to 3 weeks if they haven't, or 3 months, or maybe longer. And so at that point, the frustration is, okay, what do I need to do? Where am I at? And so at this point, I have to, well, we know the day they got the concussion. So if they're outside of that 3 week window, it's time to look at symptoms. It's time to get away from diagnosing, get away from trying to find labels of what's wrong with them. We know they had a concussion. We know they're past the acute stage, and now we have to figure out, so do they have eye issues? Do they have balance issues? Do they have brain fog? Do they have nausea? So start listing out the symptoms, and we can go through each symptom and start looking at progressive treatments. Maybe they need eye treatments. Maybe they need, of course, the work I do, which is releasing the impact in their body, as well as mental health care, diet and nutrition help. So all of these things. So I'd love for you to share your best resources that you found, because we need a central place for any concussion sufferer to start at and go to. That would probably be the number one frustration of most concussion people that I see.